Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Yes She Can project. I am delighted to be here with the lovely Beth from Mama Life London. Hello, Beth.
Hello.
Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
So for anybody who doesn't know you, could you introduce yourself for us and tell us a bit about what you do?
Yeah, so my brand is Mama Life London, and I started it back in November 2017, I think. So it's a slogan clothing company. That was initially what it was. It was slogan t-shirts and sort of with the idea of supporting women. So there's slogans like a little less judgment, and one that came across which was never off duty, just because I feel as mums, like a hint to
Totally.
dads here that can't off duty. And sisterhood as well. So, and then later on I kind of added a few more slogans like be kind always. But yeah, it's just started off as a bit of an idea, and then yeah, I kind of went along with it, work part-time, still do my marketing job that I had, and then September 2019 I was able to work on it full-time, which has been great.
Oh, that's wonderful. So with it being fashion, essentially, have you always been interested in fashion, or have you got a fashion background?
I've not got a fashion background, but I have always been interested in fashion. Yeah, so just like a lot of women, I suppose, just like to find outfit ideas, get dolled up every now and again. Well, these days, I wouldn't say it's even every now and again. It's very rarely that I get dolled up now. But yeah, and I kind of always had an idea of the kind of clothes and style that I like. And particularly when I started the business, I'm very fussy about quality.
Okay.
I would much rather buy less of something than more and have good quality. So I was a bit of a stickler to begin with about the type of t-shirts I wanted, the style of the t-shirts. I didn't just want any kind of fruit t-shirts just printed up. I wanted it to be nice style, nice fit for women, and obviously important thing is that it washes well, and soft, so when you're cuddling your kids you don't feel all rough or anything. So yeah, there's a bit of time taken in that, but yeah, so I suppose going back to your question, I have always kind of been interested in fashion.
And also the whole theme of motherhood as well, that kind of runs all the way through your brand, in a sense of the things that you thought about when selecting your clothes as well, like you say, with the softness. I would imagine that you thought about whether they wash well as well, whether stains come out easily. That's always important, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. In fact, I started a YouTube channel a while ago, and I kind of did fashion ideas on there for how to style the outfit, how to style your t-shirts with an outfit for different occasions, whatever. And then one of my best videos I did was about like with stains and making like keeping your t-shirts white and all that sort of stuff, and that's had 30,000 views so far. So
there's a lot of call for that, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's definitely always been, the practicality of having the clothing, basically making sure those little things work well, especially as a mother when you haven't got time for all that sort of thing.
So with your slogans in particular, is it your own ideas, or do you speak to other mums and then get slogans that way, kind of having conversations with other mums?
Yeah, I suppose they've all kind of been quite organic. I think little less judgment one, I just always felt like sometimes people can be so judgmental about how you raise your children, what you're doing, even over like sort of insignificant things. Oh, you do that, do you? And I just think, like, just be a bit more kind-hearted with it, and just think that's you do you, basically. If that's how you want to do it, you do that. Yeah, there's no need for you to get involved or worry yourself too much about it, because everyone has their own way of parenting, and it's whatever works for them. And then with never off duty, I remember my friend came out to my house and she was wearing a t-shirt that said off duty, and it just made me laugh, because I was like, you mean we're never off duty? And then
ding.
Yeah. And the sisterhood one is just, again, women supporting women as a mother, just trying to be there for other mums, and trying to not go down that judgmental bitchy line.
I do think that they all do intertwine though, don't they? Especially I would say it's like sisterhood with a little less judgment, because I think a lot of the time people kind of try and stick their nose in where it's not welcome in a sense.
Yeah, definitely. Always, I think, yeah. And I'm all for people giving helpful advice, but when it becomes opinionated, you could do that as a mum, because everyone's got their ideas of how they raise children, and it's just, you don't need it, do you? It's just I think the worst thing was with me, because my kids didn't sleep for years through the night, and everyone's like, oh, you should leave them to cry, you should do this, oh, have you done this before bedtime? I'm like, yeah, I've done all those things, but some kids
just don't sleep well.
don't sleep as well as others, and there's nothing sometimes you can do about it. Just other kids sleep really well from birth, some of them, and other kids are more wakeful. And sometimes that even goes to you as a person. Like as an adult, there's some of my friends who their head touches the pillow and they're asleep, and that's it for the whole night, whereas I'm someone who takes a long time to get to sleep, and I'm quite wakeful as well. So it's just, that's how we are naturally, isn't it? And I think, and also I sometimes think, God, don't worry about it when they're kids, like they'll all grow out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So, they're not kids forever anyway, are they? They're going to grow into the same kind of adults in the long run, aren't they? So it doesn't really matter. I think a lot of the time we fundamentally forget that all kids need essentially is to be fed, watered and loved, and anything else in between is entirely up to you how you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, 1 second, my daughter's here. Sorry, what's it, darling?
Is it okay if Miley speaks?
Yes. Right. I'm going to the kitchen now. Go to the kitchen. Sorry.
It's all right. Bless her.
Sorry, yeah. So I totally agree that, and the phases, like some things, like I don't know, my kids one of my kids in particular is terrible with eating. It's a nightmare when it comes to eating. But then I think, God, he's not going to be doing this when he's like 19, 20. Right. So it's just, you stress over the small things sometimes when they're babies and toddlers or young children. And then years from now, when they're 17, 18, you'll be thinking, God, why did I get myself so worked up over that? Because
and it does go so fast as well. But I think sometimes I think a lot of the time we maybe do get stressed over the small things because there's so much pressure from other people. Whereas because we're always wondering, oh, I wonder what so-and-so's thinking, or whether it's a family member or something like that. I think a lot of the time family forget that things have changed and things have moved on, especially the older generation of families. They had really different ways, didn't they? And they don't understand why we can't just do it exactly the same.
And also I think especially grandparents forget with time a lot of things, so that things that they probably did with us, right. They're like, oh, I don't remember doing that, and you think, well, you did actually.
You must have done.
Yeah, exactly. But they like to pretend things were all perfect and we behaved perfectly and we did things perfectly, but we didn't. But they just forget all about it, don't they?
Yeah, and it was like, oh, well, if you didn't sleep through the night, then I just left you to cry, or if you fell over, I told you to rub some butter on it and run it off. And it's like, things aren't the same now.
No, definitely not. No.
Sorry.
No, sorry, go on. Sorry.
I was just about to say, with your slogan t-shirts, hoodies, etc., you also have a fantastic line of activewear as well. I know that you love running and you love fitness. Is that why you brought in that particular line to your brand?
Yeah. So I'd always wanted to do a sort of leggings. Sorry, the dog's barking. I'd always wanted to do a leggings, but when I was working part-time, before I went full-time on the brand, I wasn't able to spend the time sourcing the kind of things I wanted. And, it was kind of hard trying to run the business as well as work 3 days a week, plus the kids. So as soon as I had that freedom, then I was able to spend more time kind of looking for manufacturers that would do the kind of leggings that I want to do and everything. So I eventually found that. It was just before lockdown last year, so perfect time, because obviously everyone started wearing leggings, and actually they've continued to be really popular, but I've been really particular about how I want them to look. So I want them to have the pockets in them, because I find that so
leggings with
useful.
pockets, can you?
So useful, yeah. Like, it's perfect for when you're on runs as well, just be able to put your phone in there, so you've got that like security if you ever need to use your phone. And then when you've got kids, just somewhere to put your phones and any of their junk that you end up carrying around.
Got all manner of crap in your pockets when you've got kids, haven't you?
Yeah. So yeah, and then also the high-waisted thing. I really wanted them to have a sort of a bit of a high-waisted kind of support element, because I know that as mums, when you're, particularly if you're self-conscious as a mum, when you have to go, like if you want to go exercise and everything, you don't want to feel like you're not being held in or anything, or if you're doing some kind of HIIT class, you don't want to feel like your stomach's going to be hanging out when you're having to bend over or whatever. So that's quite important to me, to get all those elements in the leggings.
Absolutely, especially like you say, for mums, and we already have so many insecurities anyway after having kids, because our bodies change so much, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're, I think that makes your brand extra special, because it comes from a place of experience. So know what the customer is after, because your ideal client is obviously mums, women, and because you've got the experience of being those two things, then you can bring that to your customers with in all different aspects, with, like you say, the fabric, the fit, and things like that. So I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, and I think, fortunately, like, I've never ever pushed my friends into buy my clothes, but loads of my friends do buy my clothes, which is brilliant. So obviously that's I know that it's well liked, because they wouldn't ask for it unless they genuinely wanted it. And I never said, oh, you should wear that, you should wear this. I've never been some kind of pushy salesperson, because I just can't be that person. But
it's uncomfortable, isn't it?
It is uncomfortable, but they've always loved my stuff, and loads of my friends always buy my stuff, and their feedback is always really interesting as well, like what they tell me about it, or what they like about it, or if you do something like this, that will work really nicely as well. So it's quite, and they do it in a nice way, so they don't do it in a way of thinking they know better or anything. But so far they've loved everything I've done, and when I've ever said to them, I was trying to think of other things I could do, they're like, oh, why don't you try that? I'm like, yeah, I have thought of that. And then it's kind of nice to have those conversations and get feedback from them as mums as well.
Definitely, it's like the friendliest market research ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously you're a mum, you have your own business. Actually, let's just flip back. I was going to ask you, I bet it was so scary to take the leap from obviously being employed to working for yourself. What was it that made you think, right, now is the time?
When I went full-time on it from working part-time, it was because it was getting so busy that I thought, look, I'm in a perfect position now that I can actually leave my part-time job, and I really do want to focus on this full-time, so I can make it really work. And I'd had a bit of success with Amanda Holden wearing one of the t-shirts at the time, because I started supplying a smaller sort of boutique in the Cotswolds. They had a couple of stores, and Amanda Holden went into the store and specifically got that t-shirt and bought that t-shirt, so that was brilliant. So it started to get busier, so I knew that I could leave. But before then, I think starting my own business was a little bit of naivety, because I kind of thought it'd be easier. But that's definitely not true.
I don't think you can. It's almost like when you're pregnant with your first baby, and everyone's trying to tell you like how it's going to be. You like laugh at your pregnant self, because you're like, you have no idea. There's nothing that can prepare you.
Definitely, and it's exactly the same. Yeah, you're right. It's having a business, because I don't know, I just thought, oh, it'd be nice to be able to have holidays when I want, and when I want, and It's not like that at all when you first start a business, is it? It's like non-stop, never been able to have holidays. Even when you're on holiday, you're still responding.
Checking emails.
Calls, emails, exactly. So there's literally no time off. And yeah.
Never
so
off duty. See?
Yeah, definitely. It takes on a whole new level, doesn't it? Not just with business, it's crazy. But yeah, so I always kind of did want to have my own business. And I did, like, when this idea came, you know, I thought, oh, it's just, I like working for other people, but even without the stress, even with the stress of owning your own business, it is nice for it to be for you, not for someone else.
Absolutely.
And watching it build it, and the success of it is like a really good feeling.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I said before, like the stressful times aren't the best either, because that's all for you to deal with, and you can't really pass it on to anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
But when
it's
it
still
goes
on your
well,
shoulders in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but when it goes well, it's just a great feeling, isn't it?
So when with the whole Amanda Holder thing, would you say that catapulted the interest straight away?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I mean, before I went full time on it on my own, I started to try and suss out some local boutiques. I'm based in the Cotswold, actually, so I was trying to find.
Oh, me too.
Oh, are you? Whereabouts?
Yeah, yeah, I'm in Whitney.
How are you?
Yeah, where are you?
I'm near Broadway.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
So yeah, so my kids go to school in Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the village that's not too far away? Chipping Camden.
Yeah.
So kind of in between those two main villages, really.
Oh, but, small world.
Yeah. So so the boutiques that I had, that one was in Cheltenham, one was in Cirencester, and one was in Stow-on-the-Wold.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah. So those ones, you know, went really well, and I had kind of I braved it to ask them if they would be interested in having my clothes in their store, and they're like, "Oh my god, yeah, absolutely, definitely."
Aww.
And then that's when the perfect areas where celebrities go to, and there's Cotswold villages, don't they? So that's obviously how it got spotted by Amanda Holden. But yeah, that definitely helped in terms of the online sales, that they really kind of rocketed a bit more. And then I sent a t-shirt to Amanda Holden's stylist after that. So a few months later, I sent a t-shirt to Amanda Holden's stylist, and then she wore it just as I went full time on the business. She wore it that week that I went full time, which was amazing. So I was like, oh my god,
what a great start.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, celebrity sort of endorsement, I mean, obviously really helps. I think I had Alex Jones from the One Show. She wore one of the tops in January, February time.
Wow.
That really helped with sales.
So did you have to physically send that to her, or did she just find it?
Yeah, I sent it to her. Yeah. Cool. I mean, the only trouble is it's very, very hard to get hold of celebrities.
Yeah.
Like, it's loads of my friends say, why don't you message on Instagram such and such? I'm like, if it was that easy, it would be
everyone
amazing.
Would do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure it probably was easier at the very beginning when Instagram first started, and you know, you were able to access celebrities, and they probably didn't have this whole influencer thing going on, but it's so much harder now. And even the influencers, they want money now, so it's changed so much.
I have noticed, actually, I don't know if you've found the same, like a few people, obviously I'm not going to name any names, but a few people that are influencers or celebrities, I've messaged, and they've like to see whether they want to try the products, to see what they think of them, that kind of thing. Like as like a gifted collaboration. Before you get to the stage where you say gifted collaboration, they're like, oh wow, sounds amazing, and then you say, shall we do it in a gifted way, and then you get no reply, and you're like, oh, okay. But you're getting free stuff, you know.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, they're extortionate, the amount of money that they charge, and it's just crazy. And like, not even natural celebrities, just big influencers, and it's thousands and thousands of pounds, which, you know, they say, which is fair enough. You do want to get paid for it sometimes if that's your living, but sometimes they say, well, we do have to put a photo together, and I think, yeah, but it doesn't cost, say, £4,000 to put a photo together. Let's be honest. If that was my work, to get £4,000 to take a photo of you in a t-shirt or something.
Yeah. I'd say, well, I'll come and take the bloody photo for you. Save myself some money.
Yeah.
Easier, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult. So what would you say your biggest challenges are with running your own business and being a mum?
When it's busy, it's a nightmare trying to fit it all in, and trying to run the business, and sometimes I end up working evenings as well when it's really busy, trying to get everything done. And then I've got someone who works for me now, which is like halved my stress, because before she started working for me, I was like forgetting things for the kids, and like turning up at school feeling really stressed out when it's like time to pick them up or whatever. And I thought, the side of my business is about wellness, and I feel like I'm not even doing that
looking
for myself.
After yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm constantly stressed trying to meet deadlines all the time and worried about the kids. And I'm feeling like, sometimes the jack of all trade and master of none, because I'm trying to do
you
stuff
spread
for the
yourself
kids,
too thinly, don't you?
Failing sometimes with them, and then failing sometimes when I forget stuff on the business. And then when Sian, who works for me now, when she started working for me, it was just like so good, because I used to work with her years ago in the marketing company I worked for. And we always got on really, really well. She's always been really efficient and amazing. And so she just hit the ground running and took on a lot of the stress for me as well. So my stress levels have definitely
lowered.
Halved.
And
then I love exercise, and like I look a mess because I've not long been on a run. But
like a mess
obviously trying to fit moving when you can. I feel an absolute mess. But anyway, and that side of my life as well was starting to find it harder to fit that in, because exercise is a huge thing for me, not just because, for the fitness side of it, but just the mental side of it. Like sometimes when I'm feeling anxious about stuff, to blow it all out is a good feeling, and I wasn't even getting to do that, so I was feeling really, really stressed. And thankfully now my life's at a point where I can go on runs regularly, or like do fitness regularly. And I'm not a morning person either, because some of my friends will do it in the morning, and I'm just not that person who can wake up at 5:30. And
I couldn't think of anything worse.
No, I can't do it. So many of my friends do. Like literally, I feel like an old lady when I first wake up. There's no way.
Just give me a cup of tea in 10 minutes.
That's what I need. I need my coffee. I need a little bit of silence to begin with, and then I'm good to go. But just no, definitely not. It's not me. What
has been your highlight so far since starting your brand?
I would definitely say probably when you see that celebrity endorsement, when it's me not personally giving it to them, like with Amanda Holland, who actually physically went into the store, saw the t-shirt, liked it, bought it, wore it, and took a photo of herself at work wearing it. And I thought that's a really good feeling, because that people do actually like the clothing, and I know I like it, and I know some of my friends like it, but then to have someone who has a stylist say, oh yeah, wear that t-shirt, that looks good, then that's kind of,
that's huge. Did she tag you in it at the time?
No, she tagged the store she bought it from. Fair enough. But no, then I got loads of people messaging me saying, oh my god, Slogan's Instagram page today. I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
I bet you were like looking at all the notifications going, what's happening?
So that was amazing. And then just I think also with Tesco's, I think we've said that they copied the never off duty slogan on a pair of pajamas, and someone notified me of it. And then almost like a backward compliment, isn't it? Because it's nice that you've been noticed and that they've obviously thought, oh, that's a good idea, I like that slogan, and so they use it. But at the same time, as a small brand, that is the last thing we want, for someone who's much, much bigger to take over your slogan. And the fact that it was,
if you think about it, Sorry, say that again, Beth. I interrupted.
Lettering and the style, everything was exactly the same apart from they're on pajamas. So it's clearly a direct copy. But yeah, like I said, it was good in one way, like, oh, also I've been noticed, that's good. And then the other way, like, but that's not a good thing because they're using it.
How did you combat that? Like, how were you able to, because obviously Tesco is such a massive chain, were you able to kind of fight straight away?
Yeah, well, I initially just did a post about it on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, and then as Facebook, in terms of community, sometimes they all kind of got behind me and were sharing it and were saying, kind of, shame on you, Tesco's, and tagging Tesco's in. And my friend managed to get the details of I think it was the fashion director or something like that of Tesco, and she emailed them, and then she sent me, and they responded to her, and then it was off her own back. She didn't tell me she was doing it, and then she sent me the details of the email and everything, and said you should get in contact with them, really. And then also like a few news agencies started to get in contact with me, so I was interviewed on the radio, and then the Daily Mail wanted to cover the story, but they wanted to speak to Tesco's as well. And then once the Daily Mail spoke to Tesco's, and then Tesco's contacted me and said that they would be willing to remove the pajamas, but they said we would still stand by the fact that we didn't copy you. I'm like, oh, okay, we kind of did, but never mind.
Did they not offer you any apology?
No, they kind of
because that doesn't sound to me like a sorry. That just sounds like, oh, we'll remove it because obviously you're annoyed. But
yeah, they removed it. I suppose they thought, oh, we don't want this backlash.
Yeah.
Still unwilling to admit that it was like a direct copy, which it was.
Yeah, and it was like you say, even the design, but then wasn't it just back to front? They'd sneakily done it back to front.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, they had. Yeah. So one of my friends, she used to work as in the sort of fashion design for Lee. Remember, like Lee jeans and everything. So she said, and she worked for Marks and Spencer's as well, and she said that they would sometimes send them out to look at other brands and smaller brands and stuff, and said as long as you have 4 points of difference,
then my God,
can't be told it's a copy. So legally you can copy it, but as long as you've got 4 small points of difference. So quite interesting to hear, but obviously I think sometimes if they get a backlash that's big enough from community, then they're willing to do something about it, aren't they?
But you see, had you have not had the community that you've built up since starting the brand, can you imagine if that happened to you if you didn't have that support? Because you'd have been sat there knowing that you've been ripped off by a multi-million-pound company and knowing that there was nothing you could do about it. And it was like David versus Goliath, really, wasn't it?
Definitely, yeah. And it's just such a shame, because you think you invest all this money in designers who should be able to think of new ideas, fresh ideas, like they shouldn't have to
copy.
And I suppose because it's quicker to do it that way, isn't it? And they get more, their turnover of products is so quick that it's quicker to copy someone than it is to come up with brand new ideas every time. But even so, you just think, what are you paying this money for if that's what people are going to come back with?
Exactly. And then also from a human point of view, this is one human that has physically seen your clothing, and they've thought to themselves in their brain, that's a great idea, I am going to copy that. So and that kind of goes, because you can't just say, oh, it's Tesco, because it's not, because it's human beings that chose to do that. I think that's what makes it worse.
Yeah, because I think my friend who emailed Tesco initially, said the hard work that someone puts in, and the hours and hours that you don't see of them having to juggle families, juggle work, like to build up a business, and then just like that you can take it from beneath them. That's the more of the kick in the face, isn't it, with anything?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm so pleased that obviously they removed it, but it's still not still must have been horrific for you to go through it, especially when you first saw it. I can't imagine how horrible that was.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it's like a backward compliment. I was just like, well, that's nice, but it's also not nice at all, because it could really change my business, especially if other companies then can do things like that. Who's to say that someone else won't do that in the future?
Mm-hmm. But
And
like you say, you've got a big community of people behind you that adore your brand, adore your clothing, and it sounds like they'll stick up for you to the hills.
Yeah.
So that's really cool, and that's comforting to know, isn't it?
And it was amazing to see how many times it got shared, especially on Facebook, because Facebook's not my strongest community. As I say, I got more with Instagram, but even so, it got shared so many times that you think, oh, that's really nice that people are behind. I think it's not just going to be me, I suppose. I think people just don't like to see a smaller brand get taken advantage of by a multi-million-pound big corporation.
Exactly. The worst thing is, I mean, they don't even need the revenue, and the amount of damage that they can do to yours is, it's bizarre. But moving on from the Tesco debacle, hopefully that's way in the past, and won't happen again. What are your goals and aspirations for the future of the brand? Where would you like to see it going?
So I've changed the brand a little bit lately, in terms of giving customers a bit more of a freedom so that they can choose a kind of colour slogan they want. So I'm adding more regularly, I'm adding more slogans, but I'm giving customers to pick out of, say, about, I think there's roughly 8 different slogan colours. So from neon pink to leopard print to glitter, whatever, they can choose the kind of colour slogan they want. I think that kind of came because every now and again people would message me saying, oh, I love that, but I would love it like this. And I thought, well, we make everything to order, so really it's no big deal for us to change it for people. And if that makes it more individual to them, then that's even nicer for people, isn't it, to make it like totally unique to them.
So it's absolutely a bespoke service, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And so that's a bit of a change to it. But then there are other ideas I have, particularly on the fitness side of things. Like this top that I'm wearing at the moment is potentially one that's going to go in the range. So I
love the colour.
well, more on looking at the running side of things as well, was that having brighter coloured fitness wear, in terms of if you're a runner or if you're walking or on a bike, just the safety aspect. Because I think so many times in the past I've worn black on runs or when I'm out on the bike and stuff, and it's more recently, especially with kids, that has struck me to think, well, that's so dangerous. Like, because when I go on big runs and I go on country roads and everything, like if I'm wearing black, that just doesn't stand out. No one's going to see me. And what's the point in risking your life just because you want to wear black? Like, you should be wearing brighter colours. But again, with my sort of fashion side of it, I'd like them to be stylish. But and then also for women who are potentially on their own, just being safe in the scene, in terms of, sadly, and it's annoying me how to do this, but as women we do have to think more safely than men, and it's
absolutely
kind of frustrating. Like, well, we shouldn't have to, we do have to, and there's no getting around that. And I know there's the big discussion about, oh, we shouldn't have to. I know we shouldn't, but we do have to. At the end of the day, if we can stand out and be safer and be more seen, then that's important. So so I'm thinking of adding that sort of more of a strand to the business as well, with the exercise clothing. So there's an element that is just, if you just want to chill out at home and wear your leggings, and that's fine, to sit on the sofa and watch Netflix or go for walks, whatever, or just being around with the kids. But if you want to use it practically as well, for going for runs or cycling or whatever, and you want to look good but feel safe, then I'm going to try and add that element to the business too.
Brilliant. Well, it could be called the Be Seen collection, because then it's be seen in this, but be seen in a physical way. See, you heard it here first, people.
No, funny enough, that's one of my, I got some names, and be seen is one of them.
Yay, it's got to be that one now.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because that makes me think even more that that's one to go for.
Definitely, because it's a doubler, isn't it?
Exactly,
It's got 2 meanings. with what you were saying about the being safe and things that we have to think about, I was speaking with my eldest daughter, she's 17, and she was at college, and they were doing a lesson where they were talking about this kind of thing after the, bless her, the Sarah Everard, and she was saying that all of the girls were sat down and they were kind of calling out like what things that they have to think about when they're walking anywhere. Like, it's the same for us women, obviously, no matter how old you are, it's kind of, right, if you can hear someone behind you, where are your exit points? Which way can I go? Who can I call? Do I need to pretend to be on the phone? Shall I turn around and look at them? It is incredible the amount of things that you have to think about as a woman.
Yeah.
And she said that the boys in her class at the time, they couldn't believe how much females have to think about, because they said, literally, we had no idea that you felt this way. We just go somewhere and just walk there, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's interesting, isn't it? Because, like, say in the winter when I want to go on runs and everything, and I think, right, well, I need to make sure I'm running in somewhere really well lit. I need to make sure that house on my route. And ideally, I don't really ever run at nighttime, but on the odd occasion I've had to.
Yeah.
And then I think, or make sure that I stick to the main roads, make sure I don't go off. And you think, what? I envy being a man, and that wouldn't even cross their mind to think I need to worry about my safety on the trip, apart from perhaps getting hit by a car. But that's the only thing they really need to worry about. They don't. I mean, I know sometimes there's muggings or whatever, but that's not when people bother to mug a runner, because they usually haven't got much on them.
And they're running too fast for them to get out from them anyway.
But yeah, it's definitely so. Like, sometimes my husband said to me when I've gone on trail runs and things, like, oh, that's in the daytime, and he said, well, should you do that if, like, running through woods or fields and you're on your own, should you do that? I'm like, I'm not going to not do that as well. Like, I can't limit my life.
Not do anything.
What ifs? Like, I mean, things that happen like that in the daytime are very rare. Although do happen, but it's just a frustration that you do have something like that. But we do, and and it's like we were always brought up, weren't we, to when you're walking home, never wear heels, always wear flat shoes, because then the person, if they're hiding around the corner or in the alley, then they know that you're by yourself. If they can just hear one pair of shoes walking down, never have headphones in, because you can't hear what's going on around you. There's so much that's kind of, it's almost like a secret way. It's what we're taught as girls and as we grow up, that I mean, like my daughter said the other day, that the boys have no idea. No, definitely not.
It's frightening. Yes, work on your be seen collection, Beth.
Definitely, yeah.
It'll be great.
Oh, I'm glad to think that it will be good as well. So that's given me some confidence. I've told a couple of friends about it, because I've been quite quiet about it so far, because I've just been getting samples from the manufacturer and telling them what colours I like and what styles that I want them to try and incorporate, and making sure that, I mean, some of them are like real bright, almost neon pinks, and but again, like I said, they all look really nice. So
also as well, though, because obviously your brand is mums, it's really good for obviously mums to dress in really bright colours. Say if you go to the park, then your kids know where you are straight away, because they can say, oh, mum's got a pink top on today, or
I do that sometimes with my kids, which is funny you say that, because also, and sometimes I dress my kids in brighter colours at the park, because especially summer holidays, it's really, really busy. I'll put them in a similar sort of top, brighter colours, just because I think it's easy to spot them, because they're old enough now to kind of run off on their own, and you just kind of watch where they are. But when they're going in different directions, we've got a few of them, and they're like, one's over there, and you're trying to keep an eye on them. But like I said, again,
but you can spot them, can't you? You're like, yellow, green, red, got them.
Getting them to be able to see you is really nice, because the other day I got like these white snow leopard leggings, and I had those on because I think, well, you like, because they look sometimes like if they're shorter, obviously, the younger kids, they look at your legs, don't they? So in a sea of black mums in black leggings, like, will stand out.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Brilliant. For you personally, aside from the business, What are you do you have any personal goals that you want to reach?
Aside from the business, I suppose probably boring, but it's back to my running, I suppose, because
Yeah.
I got a half marathon in September in a couple of weeks, and then
Have you?
Yeah, and I want to do London
Oh.
Marathon next year.
Wow.
And just kind of keep going my running, because I had to. I did run before kids, and I did half marathons before kids,
Mhm.
and obviously having children and just the business of, I kind of kept up running, but I just did it as
Almost like a self-care thing rather than a serious thing.
fitness thing. Whereas I do really enjoy taking part in races, and I'm quite competitive myself in terms of I want to always better my times. So I suppose just continuing that thing, really. I get quite excited.
Where you get your energy from? The thought of running, I just think, yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot of mental strength to.
Definitely, yeah. But like today, I didn't really feel like it, because I thought, God, I've got loads on, and the kids, and I just thought, I was a bit tired because I worked out yesterday as well, and I just felt physically and a bit mentally drained. But I thought, well, I've got this half marathon in a couple of weeks, so I just got to force myself out the house. So it is a mental thing, because sometimes it's the last thing you want to do, but and then you always feel better for it afterwards. You never come off from a run and think, oh, wish I hadn't done that. 90% of the time, or even 99% of the time, you'll feel much better for it. So
and you'll be glad that you went.
Yeah, exactly. Rather than
Well,
about
I
half an hour
envy
later,
you lots and lots. Would you be up for a bit of a 90s quiz?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, let me plug the old computer in. It's just about to go off, and we don't want that. 1 second. Okie doke. Right. Some of these questions might be a bit hard, because I mean, I wrote them down, but I'm not really sure whether I'd get the answers. So good luck. Okie doke. Let's start with this one. So in 1996, Fern Cotton began her presenting career on which program?
Oh, was it the Saturday? Is it this? Was it a kids program on a Saturday?
Yeah, it was a kids program.
It's that. Oh, I can't remember what they were called. Oh,
it's hard. Well, it says here the Disney Club, but I can't remember what. Oh, were you? So you were right.
But then I thought to myself, no, am I getting confused with Christina Aguilera? Because I know that she's in Disney World.
Yeah, her and Britney were on it, weren't they?
Yeah, but then I didn't realise we had a UK version of that.
No, I didn't.
Though, so no,
well,
maybe I was a bit too old for that.
No,
1996, I think I started to go nightclubbing, which is, and I was probably way too young at that age as well.
It feels like 5 minutes ago, 1996, though, doesn't it?
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Next question is, who had a hit with Ice Ice Baby?
Oh, Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, of course. Which action figures were described as perfect for every gender?
No idea.
Well, it says here. Oh, hold on. I'm wondering if I can think of the theme tune. No, I don't want to embarrass myself, but it was Power Rangers.
Well, do you know, that crossed my mind, but then I thought I was never into Power Rangers, and I knew only boys who were into Power Rangers.
Yeah, so I think there was a pink one, wasn't there? I'm sure there was a pink Power Ranger.
Yeah, that's because all the boys fancied her.
Yeah, probably.
Never really went to the girls.
No. What stuffed animal / teddy? No, let me try that again. What stuffed animal / teddy fad debuted in 1993?
An animal stuffed teddy fad.
Yeah. So it was like a teddy, and like everyone wanted them. There was loads of different types, like different shapes of them and stuff. And I think they've come back in now for like our kids.
Have they?
They've got like a little red thing either on their bum or like on their head or on their ear, depending what animal they are.
I'm rubbish at this, aren't I? I can't
No,
even think.
you've got every question.
A red thing on their ear.
But you see,
No
I might be
idea.
really crap at asking the question and I might have got it completely wrong. But the answer is Beanie Babies.
Oh,
You remember Beanie Babies?
I do remember them. But again, I think I was probably too old, that I was just probably wasn't interested in them. Giving away my age.
Which Spice Girls? Say that again. Sorry, I cut you off.
I didn't realise they had like a little red thing on them.
I think they have, or is that TYs? No, TYs are Beanie Babies, aren't they? Or
Yeah,
are
they
they?
are, yeah. Yeah, I think they are, aren't they?
Oh no, isn't the red thing the Mattel things? Oh, I don't know. I'm getting confused. You say it's no use the quiz master asking you the question and not even knowing the answer and getting it wrong. Moving on. Which Spice Girls singer wasn't an original member of the group?
Jerry.
See, that's what I would have said, but it says Emma.
Oh, really? Was she brought in later, was she?
She must have been. Can you imagine that poor girl that like dropped out or decided she didn't want to do it anymore? I bet she was gutted.
Absolutely gutted.
Oh, we shouldn't laugh, but oh, bless her.
That is a bad decision, isn't it?
Mm.
Which
but really good for Emma Bunton, I guess. Yeah. I'm sure she won't be too disappointed.
No, definitely not.
Which product did the famous boxer George Foreman endorse in the 90s?
Oh, the grill. The grill.
Everyone used to have one of those, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or if you couldn't afford one, you'd go around to your mates who had one, and then you'd have whatever they just you just used to put anything on there, didn't you? Because it was cool.
I forgot all about those. Yeah.
What is the name of the owlish looking toy that spoke gibberish? Gibberish.
Owlish looking toy that spoke gibberish.
I think they've come back in now, and they purportedly, people used to believe that they were actually sent by foreign spies, and they were used by foreign spies to like spy on people, because it used to go arr, 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 arr. And it wasn't that thing out of Star Wars.
No, I don't know. Oh no, as soon as you tell me, I've got an idea. But
Furbies.
Furbies, yeah. My kids, my daughter had a Furby, yeah.
Yeah, because they have come back in, haven't they? I've noticed them recently for kids.
Yeah.
Which year was the movie Babe released? You know, the one with the pig.
Yeah, about 1992.
Oh, so close. It says it was 95.
Oh,
Nearly.
No, not that close. No.
That was good though. You know, at the time it was amazing, wasn't it? It was like, oh my God, that pig can speak. It's so cute.
Yeah. I was trying to get my kids to watch that actually the other day, but they weren't interested.
Aww. But you know, when you watch some films with them that you used to watch, they look so budget, don't they, compared to like that animation now.
I know, and that's what puts them off sometimes, I think, because you know the movie Labyrinth, creators. So I love Labyrinth, and I got my kids to watch it. They did actually enjoy it, but when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, like I thought this was incredible.
Yeah.
And now compared to, like I said, all the advances we've had with CGI and everything, and it just looks terrible. It
does, doesn't it? But it was so gripping and good at the time. It used to give me nightmares, but it was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I thought it was so realistic. But then I suppose I'm wondering if another 20 years we'll look back at the CGI that's around now and be like, oh my God, we thought that was really. I
bet we will. Oh, that was such a classic film. Those were the days, weren't they?
Definitely.
This is rather a random one. What does AOL stand for?
AOL?
Yeah.
AOL.
Is it AOL? AOL.
I don't know.
I think that's too hard. Right, we'll move on because we don't even care about that answer because it was a crap question.
I'm curious now.
It's American Online.
Oh, okay. No, I wouldn't have got that.
See, crap question, crap answer. Oh, I think you might get this one for sure because you mentioned her. Oh no, now I've just given it away. Okay. Who had a number one with Genie in a Bottle?
Oh, was that Christina Aguilera by any chance?
Yes, it was indeed. And the last question, oh no, two more. What is the name of the child who owns the toys in Toy Story?
His name is, oh my God, Andy.
Yay!
Andy. I was thinking, God, you should know this. I've watched Toy Story enough times.
And the last one is, what is the most popular phone? What was the most popular phone in 1999?
Nokia 360 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, 3210 with Snake. Do you remember Snake?
That was it. Oh, Snake, yeah, definitely. That was my very first mobile. Was it called 3210?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You could change the faces on them, like change the covers, as in I had
Yeah.
a one, and then I had a, I don't know, a silver one or something as well that I could change the face of.
Yeah, they were great, weren't they? But then we used to have to, we couldn't just like press the ones that we wanted. We had to press like 4 times for an E and then like 3 times for a P.
Yeah.
It's unreal. I remember I think I found one of my like super, I think it was an old BlackBerry or something like that from about 10 years ago. My youngest daughter, she's 8, she got it in her hand and she went like that to swipe the screen. I was like, no, we didn't have touch screen in them days.
Yeah, I remember when I was at university working at a phone store, like when the screen went into color, that was a really huge thing. It wasn't like to record or take photos, it's just that the screen was color instead of black and white. And it was like a big sales thing, like, oh, we've got the screens and they're color, like, oh my God, it's in color, oh my God. And to think now you can watch TV programs on it, and it's just bizarre, isn't it?
It makes us feel old, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like so crazy that's in such a short time, really, like how much it's all come on in a really, really short space of time.
Definitely.
It's probably about 10 years, doesn't it? Like it went from black and white screens, the next thing to be able to watch something on your phone. Yeah,
I remember when me and my husband have been together it's just about 18 years now. When we first got together, and our eldest is 17, when she was first born, we didn't have the internet. We used to like just go to the library to go on the internet.
Yeah. But when you did have the internet, you had to dial in and make that noise for ages, and then sometimes you lose connection, and then that would be that, or it wasn't very strong connection. Or taking like having to keep dialing over and over again, it taken about 20 minutes.
And then the noise of like when you used to go around your mate's house and only one of them ever had a fax machine, you thought it was brilliant that you could like draw a picture and then fax it to somebody else.
I like to think now as well, even if our phone or not, the internet on our phone takes, I don't know, a few seconds to load, and we get really impatient with it.
Yeah, totally. Or it's like you'll all be sat there on your devices, like kids on iPads, and you're watching like Now TV or Sky or whatever, and then as soon as the internet goes, you're like, the internet's gone off, go and have a look at the modem, has it gone? And it's like, geez, what happened to us?
Exactly, it's like the worst thing ever when the Wi-Fi doesn't work.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, Beth, it's been wonderful to talk to you, and I really appreciate you coming on. Say that again.
It's nice to talk to you. I feel like I've had a little night out with a friend.
Yeah. What day even is it? Is it Tuesday, Wednesday? Check.
I don't lose track of days because of the kids.
Tuesday. Yes,
really
Tuesday.
hard to know what day it is half the time, isn't it, with the kids?
It is, yeah.
Because mine like your kids, my kids are going to bed later as well, so it's just like,
yeah, mine do.
Every day feels like a Friday.
yeah, definitely. Well, I wish you well in your brand new BC line. Exciting, exclusive.
Looking forward to it, definitely.
Just before you go, could you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, so mamalifelondon.com or
Yep.
on any social media, including YouTube, it's Mama Life London. So MAMA Life London. It's really hard now to say Mama because other people say
It is.
Mama.
Yeah. I think the way you say it is great, because I was worried, so I was like, I don't want to say mama, and if it's not mama, it sounds better mama, doesn't it? Just like mum.
Mama, and then people are like, oh, M-U-M-A. I'm like, oh no, you just say Mama.
Bless you. It's been a pleasure, Beth. Thank you very much, and everybody hop on over and give Beth a follow and check out her wonderful clothes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.